Mice and Men was written by the author John Steinbeck and published in 1937. The story shows Lenny Small and George Milton, two workers that are trying to earn some money to buy a farm, but in the process, they start to have some issues that in the end up being big problems. George Milton and Lenny Small kinda reminds me of my brother and me, and it's because the way that they act when they are together. Because no matter what events happens on their life, they will always support each other. And we can see this through the story, like in the part where Lenny gets in a fight and he doesn't know what to do, but his friend appears at the right moment to show him what to do. At the same time, George works like a father to Lenny because he also scolds him for his actions. After all, Lenny has some issues to differentiate between good and bad actions. That's why they are supposed to be together, but when they are taken apart one from the other, they have a bad time. The story starts with George and Lenny walking and talking about getting a job in a ranch. After some time, Lenny takes out from his pocket a dead mouse because he has an obsession with touching soft things. And because of this obsession, both friends were taken out from the last town that they were. After this, George repeats to Lenny that they are searching job to get some money and have a farm where they can be their own bosses. After all the chat that they have, they decide to go the next morning to ask for the job in the ranch. The next day, they go to ask about the job and they get questioned by the boss because, to his eyes, both friends were acting strange, and it was all due because George was answering all the questions while Lenny was silent. George explains that Lenny is not bright but is a tremendous worker. They also meet Candy, an old swamper with a sheepdog, Crooks, the black stable hand, the boss' son Curly, who is an amateur boxer and has a bad temper, Curly's wife, who has a reputation as a tart, Carson, another ranch hand, and Slim, the chief mule skinner. Upon seeing Curly's wife, Lenny is fascinated with her and George warns him to stay away from her and Curly. Later, after the others have gone to the barn, hoping to witness a fight between Slim and Curly over Curly's wife, Lenny and George are alone in the warehouse. Lenny wants to hear the story of their farm again, and George retells the dream. Candy overhears and combines George and Lenny to let him on the plan, because he has money for a down payment. George sadly believes that, with Candy's money, they can swing the payment for a ranch he knows of. The ranch hands return, making fun of Curly for backing down to Slim. Curly is incensed and picks a fight with Lenny, brutally beating Lenny until George tells Lenny to fight back. Lenny smashes all the bones in Curly's hand, taking Curly to a doctor. Slim gets Curly's promise to say his hand got caught in a machine, so Lenny and George won't get fired. Lenny is afraid he has done a bad thing, and that George won't let him tend the rabbits. George explains that Lenny did not mean to hurt Curly, and that he isn't in trouble. The next week, Lenny's in the barn with a dead puppy. While Lenny thinks about how he can explain the dead puppy to George, Curly's wife enters. They talk about how they enjoy touching soft things. She tells him he can touch her hair, but when Lenny strokes it too hard and messes it up, she gets angry. In fear, Lenny hangs on to her hair and Curly's wife begins to scream. To keep her from screaming, Lenny holds her so tightly that he breaks her neck. Candy finds the body of Curly's wife and goes for George. Both men immediately know what has happened. George asks Candy to wait a few minutes before he calls the others. Then, he goes into the bunkhouse and steals Carson Luger. When Curly comes and sees his murdered wife, he vows to kill Lenny slowly and painfully. George alone goes straight for the riverside where he finds Lenny. Lenny knows he has done a bad thing, and expects George to scold and lecture him. George, however, is so overcome with remorse that he cannot scold Lenny and save him from Curly's cruelty. He tells Lenny to look across the river and imagine their little farm. George describes it, and he has done many times before. And while Lenny is smiling with pleasure and envisioning the rabbits he will tend, George shoots Lenny at the back of his neck. The others arrive, and George leads them to believe Lenny had Coulson's gun, which George wrestled away from him and shot in self-defense. But only Slim comprehends the truth, and he takes George off up to the path for a drink. Well, to be honest, the story doesn't have a happy ending, and I can understand this, because after all, this book was written and published in the Great Depression, where the people in that era thought that it was the end of the world. The story is raw, graphic, and uncomfortable, but after all these words, I can say that I like the story. Like I said, the relationship between the two friends kinda remind me to my brother and myself. It also made me see how a lot of things can be written, but it can mean many things, but one thing is clear. It's not the way that you read a story, it's the way that you feel it.